What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the forum video rendition. This is going to be week 13. We got a great episode today. We got matchup reviews of week 12. We have updated power rankings and matchup previews for week 13. A lot of really good matchups because of the impending playoffs coming in a couple weeks. So every game for a lot of managers are extremely important from here on out. And we're going to be highlighting those points in today's video, so hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get right into the first segment, which is matchup reviews. Alright, everybody, like I just mentioned, we're going to be doing our Week 12 matchup reviews. Going to be doing the screen recording style this time because I kind of liked it when I did it last week back at home. Kind of helps me out with the editing too, so I don't got to add all these pictures, make all these screenshots, and do all that. So I think this works out good for you guys. We're going to keep rolling with this style. Let's start off with the first matchup. One of the best ones of the week. Going to start off strong here with Lamar's backpack taking down, thank you to Mar, 127.78 to 126.4. Adding those decimal points right there to show the emphasis and how close this matchup was. A pivotal game for both of these managers. Lamar's backpack going to 7-5, and thank you to Mar falling to 5-7. Thank you to Mar's on his last leg now. Not to say that his team did not fight, because they 100% did. What sucks is that you see right here, Jacoby Myers put up 20.1 points on the bench when you had Brandon Cooks in the starting lineup. Not to say he didn't play good. However, it did cost you this week. Lamar's backpack, on the other hand, another impressive game as always. Jaden Reed on the bench could have been played here at the flex. Najee Harris could have been played here for DeAndre Hopkins. The only bad play this week, really. And going into the playoffs, man, Lamar's backpack is scary. Very scary. I mean, look at all these players. Lamar didn't even have to do anything, really. And he still showed out this week. Impressive win by Lamar's backpack. One that you needed to get, and you got it. Very good performance there. Let's move on to the next game here I want to cover. Team DD falling to the Aaron Rodgers Achilles team, 133 to 93. 92.48 if you want to be exact. I think I said in the preview last week that Team DD, this is probably going to be the worst starting lineup I've ever seen. It lived up to the name. I mean, it performed better than I honestly thought it would, considering Devonta Smith had a great game and Drake London too, but it's just such a bad team. Even if Jettis is in the lineup, it's such a bad team. I think even this upcoming week in the Week 13 preview that you guys will see, it's just such a terrible team, dude. The roster sucks. The starting lineup is garbage. Makes me want to throw up. As for the Aaron Rodgers Achilles team, Josh Allen, absolute legacy game. One, unfortunately, that you did need to have. So it feels maybe like kind of a waste of an amazing week. Same with Bijan. I think his performance was probably more important than Josh Allen's in this case. Cooper Kupp, look at this. 4.8 points. Another terrible week. Look, since making that Cooper Kupp trade, he has done jack shit for the Achilles team, and that is a big concern. Luckily, you didn't need it this week because the Josh Allen game and the Bijan game, and look, you just didn't need it. Let's make something very clear here. Cooper Kupp is not the same this year, and it is a big letdown. Hopefully, it does not cost his team moving forward. But hey, Aaron Rodgers Achilles needed this win. Just like Lamar's backpack, he got it. It's a great game from him. And let's move on here to the next game. And I want to look at the GOAT squad taking down Chubb Checker 142 to 108. Look at the GOAT squad. Absolute legacy game. Everybody playing out of their minds. Dak Prescott, 32 points. Nailed the quarterback position. Kyren Williams, welcome fucking back. 38 points. Are you shitting my cock? That's awesome. Javonte Williams, modest game, but Jalen Waddle, absolutely great game. Brandon Ayuk, didn't even need him. Travis Kelce, didn't even need him. The flexes, it's kind of gross. Even though you had Gabe Davis on the bench, but I mean, look at this, 142. When was the last time you saw the GOAT squad put up more than 120? That's awesome. And Chubb Checker, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Now the first team in the league to officially, mathematically speaking, be eliminated from playoff contention. I respect this team for making trades and trying to fix it. It just didn't work out, and sometimes that's going to happen, and I do feel bad, I really do. Great win for the GOAT squad, moving to 5-7, staying alive, clinging to the last slivers of hope to make the playoffs this year, and he is definitely making a run for it. I promise you that. Next game. Huge upset, and I wish I made this my upset pick of the week because I said it in the forum last week. I said this is not my official upset pick, But if there was one that I would not be surprised with, it is this one. I didn't have the balls to do it, but it happened. Look, bigger than black and white. Taking down the number one team, Team Armani, 88.5 to 83.5. Holy hell. This is an ugly game. Ugly, disgusting, gross, just abysmal game from both managers. Team Armani. I don't know what happened. I've never seen this. We had CMC on Thursday go fucking nuclear. We had just so much going Team Armani's way. He had Cole Kmet and Josh Dobbs going into Monday night. It didn't help. He lost. Do my eyes deceive me? Bigger than black and white coming in clutch. And if you guys saw the interview video, we saw how down he was about this matchup. He said, well, considering DK got me 6.2 points, it's safe to say I'm not gonna win. Motherfucker, you won! Holy shit! Michael Pittman, 20 points. Patrick Mahomes, 20 points. Rashad White, 13 points. No one else scored over 10, and he still fucking won! Holy hell. I think this game is the reason why Team Armani made the trade. I mean, like I said, look, Terry McLaurin not 10, Amari Cooper not 10, Elijah Moore not even 6, and Josh Dobbs a problem. Had he had started Baker Mayfield, he would have won, but we're going to keep that to ourselves. Wow, what a win for Bigger Than Black and White. Staying alive now, and now he's not in contention for last place. I think he's pretty much good to go unless something catastrophic happens in the losers bracket. I mean, this team could still make the playoffs. Technically, he could. Yeah, what a win by Bigger Than Black and White. And now let's get to the highest scoring game of the week. One of the highest scoring games we've had all year, which would have been my upset pick, and it's just look at this score right here. Little Giants taking down JaxyPad 145.36 to 144.68. My upset pick of the week had a legacy game. JaxyPad had a great game this week. Another huge performance from this team especially, and now it didn't happen in a win. Unfortunately, it did not pan out his way, and that is very look, it's tough to look at. It is. Let's go by this team now. I'm gonna really break this game down. Tyreek Hill putting up 25, that's per usual. Stroud 31 points. Oh my god, he's insane. So insane. Jonathan Taylor 21, injured, but he put up 21 for you. Nico and Stroud connection is the stack is insane. Much like the Tank Dell, it's insane. James Cook put up a nice game. Josh Downs was a bad play here. He had Marquise Brown in the starting lineup. He did not start him. Freiermuth could have played him, didn't. I don't know why. But he got away with it. He really got away with it. He got away with 2 You Fucked Up awards in the same way. 3, really, because look, Christian Watson, too. I don't think I'd ever imagine Christian Watson would do this, but look, he put up 20 points. If you're JaxyPad, you're really kicking yourself because you had so many mistakes made by the Little Giants and you still could not take advantage of it. Maybe it's the Zach Charbonnet play. Came back to bite you. Everyone else played pretty well. Jamar Chase is kind of concerning now. Tony Pollard and Isaiah Pacheco did really, really well. I'm very impressed. Mike Evans from the Keenan Allen trade, huge. Falling to 6-6 though. Little Giants going to 8-4, the second 8-win team we've had this season. JaxyPad, like I said, falling to 6-6, currently out of the playoff bracket in terms of ranking. He is tied with Team Doyle, who we'll get to in a second, but the points for isn't going his way. With that being said, let's go to the primetime matchup that was flexed for week 12, and this was an ass-kicking. Team Doyle beating the Guardians 145.7 to 100.5. Team Doyle bent over the Guardians, 45-point victory, off the backs of Jalen Hurts going absolutely fucking nuclear, Josh Jacobs going insane. Everybody on this team did well. I counted it up, and I don't know if this is a record. I don't want to say it is, but it's highly possible. Team Doyle had a total of 10 touchdowns scored in his starting lineup. 11 if you count Rashee Rice, who he very well could have played in place of one of these guys. So he had 11 total touchdowns, let's say. No one else in the league came even close to that. I think the next highest one this week was 7. Hard to beat a team when everyone scores a touchdown. Everybody. Hurts had 5, Jacobs had 1, Montgomery had 1, AJ had 1, Ridley had 1, Laporta had 1. It's just hard to beat a team like that. And I don't want to make excuses. Obviously, the Guardians played like shit. Kyler did nice. Ramondre did nice. He's been doing very nice. A pretty modest game from CD. Underwhelming from Breece and Devontae. But look, Khalil Herbert and Adam Thielen just absolutely atrocious. Nothing that the Guardians could have done. Sometimes those losses feel better than like, you know, this one over here. Or this one even. Or this one even. Sometimes it's best to just, hey, you got outplayed. Team Doyle is on a mission right now to make the playoffs. Currently is the number 6 seed, which the way if the playoffs started tomorrow, it would be Team Doyle and the Guardians facing off. But that is the Week 12 matchup reviews, let's get into the weekly awards. And for the weekly awards, we have a few. Let's start with the play of the week. We only have one, but it's a great one. You wanna know why? It doesn't even result in a win. But it's the fact that the GOAT Squad finally nailed the quarterback play. You get the Play of the Week award. You have mentioned that Dak will be your starter moving forward. Very, very good. I think you should just drop Brock Purdy just to make sure you don't buy into that whole, matchup, that game again that was costing you. I think if you just plug and play Dak, it'll be really good. And I'm going to give you the Play of the Week because it's been such an Achilles heel to this team, pun intended to Aaron Rodgers, that you finally nailed it. I'm going to give you the Play of the Week regardless if it helped you win or not. Good for you. And now let's get to the You Fucked Up awards. Let's start off here with Team Armani. You get the You Fucked Up award for starting Joshua Dobbs over Baker Mayfield. Look, you can see right here, plain as day, projections were the same. All you were looking at was matchups. The fact that you didn't, for 1 second, think the Indianapolis pass defense was worse than the Chicago is insane to me. If you start Baker, you win. You don't make the Kyler Murray trade. Maybe your team ends up winning it all. Baker Mayfield was a serviceable guy, and you just didn't play him. I don't know why. Joshua Dobbs is a backup for a reason. Let's not forget that. The next You Fucked Up award is going to the Jaxie Pad team for not only having the worst name in the league, but starting Zach Charbonnet over Keaton Mitchell. You said to yourself, you like Keaton Mitchell. He's a hell of a waiver wire ad, especially going into the playoff season. And the fact that you don't start him against the Chargers defense, the worst defense in the NFL, over the guy who's going up against one of the best defenses in the NFL is insane to me. And it cost you. Look, you lost by 0.8. 8.9, I don't know. But it would have been enough to win if you just started Keaton Mitchell. Unfortunate to say the least. And finally, the last You Fucked Up award goes to Thank You DeMar for not starting Jakobi Meyers over Brandon Cooks. Not a good way to lose, because everybody knows that Jakobi Meyers is a much better player than Brandon Cooks right now. I don't know why his projections were saying that. Maybe it was different a few days ago. But to be fooled like that, just tough. You could have made the play and you didn't do it. I guess something happened. But you get the You Fucked Up award. Thank you, DeMar. I hope you enjoy it. I hope all you beautiful recipients enjoy your awards. Hopefully you get them framed. But if you don't, that's okay too. Don't worry, I'm keeping track. Let's now move on to the power rankings portion of this episode. Alright, moving on here. We're going to be going into the power rankings. Thought again about doing a tier list. I think we're going to wait one more week. I think we're going to do it next week, going into the playoffs. Again, we're going to do a normal format for the power rankings. Starting off here with number 12, we have Chubb Checker, officially eliminated from playoff contention, mathematically speaking. We kind of knew this a couple weeks ago. However, his roster really wasn't that bad this year. I think he had really unfortunate breaks with Nick Chubb getting hurt. A lot of close games this year that unfortunately ended up in losses. Chubb Checker is going to be fighting for that last place spot. Number 11, Team DD, moving down. Even though he's got 5 wins, which is pretty respectable, is actually now tied for second to last with a lot of teams. His record is no longer his selling point to not be last. In terms of roster buildup, roster construction, it's one of the worst I've ever seen. And with Jay Jettis out and continuing to be out with apparently no urgency to return, Team DD has just fallen through the cracks, been pushed into the sewers, if you will. Sad to see, because this team was so highly rated at the beginning of the year. Number 10, Bigger Than Black and White. Huge win last week, moving him up one spot. I think the roster is better than Team DD overall, even though the record is the same. That's why I put Bigger Than Black and White right here. I think still moving forward, though, I don't think it's a playoff team by any means. But I think if Bigger Than Black and White was to face any of those bottom 2 guys, he would definitely win. On the contrary, though, for number 9, I think he would beat any of the bottom 3 guys, and that is Thank You DeMar. I think his team, even though it has been nuked in recent weeks with all the trading that he's done, good and bad moves, I still think that his roster is better than the bottom 3 guys. I think if they saw each other in that final, toilet bowl match, he would win for sure. He'd be fine. I don't think Thank You DeMar makes the playoffs at this point. That's why I have him ranked so low, and I know it's hurting the manager. I know Dom is really upset about it. Hopefully next year he has a better year. I'm not going to say he's not out of the playoffs. I think he is, just because of where everyone else in the league is in terms of record. I just don't know at this point if 5-7 can make the playoffs. However, if there is a guy to do it, I believe it is the number 8 team, the GOAT Squad. 5-7 now at number 8. I think the team looks really good now with Kyren Williams back. We saw it last week. Huge performance against Chubb Checker. It went probably the best game the GOAT Squad's had all year. I think it actually is in terms of scoring, which is great. Nailed the quarterback. Dak is going to be the guy moving forward. You got Javonte, you got Gus, you got Kyren for the running back room, you got Sutton, Waddle, Ayuk for the wide receivers, Travis Kelce as always. I mean, if there's a team that's going to make the playoffs at 5-7, it is the GOAT Squad. Number 7, I have Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. At 7-5, this is really low. It's just with how bad Cooper Kupp has been, especially in recent weeks. It's almost scary to put any trust in Cooper Kupp going forward. I don't think the Achilles team likes that move at all. I think it's might be regretting it. I understand that Hawkinson's a great tight end, but now with Addison being pushed back to the number 2, with Kupp not performing well, when you lost Tank Dell in the trade, maybe Devon Achane comes back as a stud. I think the Aaron Rodgers Achilles team is not going to be a huge force in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see. At number 6, I have Jaxie Pad sitting at 6-6. Maybe need to change something there. Listen, the team looks good. I think it put up 145 points last week. That's very impressive. The second time it's done that in, I believe, 3 weeks. I think the roster he has now is the best roster he's going to have. I don't think he needs to make any changes. The only concern is Jamar Chase now with Joe Burrow out. Some of his flex play, considering Deontay's been really bad. Kareem Hunt is RB2 now in Cleveland, solidified. Even if he gets some touches, Jerome Ford is the guy back there. So there's some question marks with Jaxie Pad, but the team keeps winning. A tough loss last week, but I think to finish out the season, he's got a decently favorable schedule, not anything crazy. I think there's a chance that this team makes the playoffs. It's going to be between, I think, Jaxie Pad and the Achilles team to make the playoffs, because a team that I think is going to be solidified is number 5 here, and that's Team Doyle. Team Doyle is a outstanding team, very well built, all around, has hitters everywhere. Take it from me, who just got his ass kicked by Team Doyle, there is a lot of ways he can win. There's a lot of ways he can beat you. However, I will say, sitting at 6-6, I can't put you any higher realistically. I will say that of all the teams that in that middle of the pack, which I would consider Team Doyle, Jaxie Pad, and the Achilles team, I think Team Doyle is the best. But number 4, a division leader, the Guardians of Your Mom's House, once again coming in here at number 4, obviously benefiting off of a weak division. With that though, this team has had a really tough schedule this year, having to play a lot of winning teams more than once. Team Doyle more than once, Little Giants more than once. I think Team Armani more than once as well. This team has had to fight really hard to get to 7-5. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Guardians. Now, who's at number 3? Well, it's the guy that's playing the Guardians this week. I have Team Armani sitting now at 8-4, a tough loss last week. You could blame the quarterback, you could blame the wide receivers. Well, this team went out and got them, and I think that they're great for the team overall. Losing Saquon and Terry, as I've highlighted in that last trade video. But Team Armani, I think, filled some pretty key holes in the team, did the best of what he could get. I think there was a lot of people saying that Team Armani shouldn't have changed his team. To some extent, I agree, and maybe that's why I kind of moved him down here to 3rd, not 2nd. I think there's some pressure there. We're going to see how the team moves going forward, though. Number 2, I don't know if this is really arguable. I love this team. I think a lot of people do. I have Lamar's backpack here. The highest scoring team in the league. I don't even think it's really that close. There's so much dominance with this team here, scoring-wise. The wide receivers, best 3 wide receivers in the game, or of any team, 100%. There's no question there. Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra, and Keenan Allen. I think that averages out to position 5 or something. Serviceable running backs, nothing crazy. Derrick Henry, unfortunately, isn't that good, but Pacheco's pretty decent in terms of fantasy. I mean, look, quarterback, tight end, this team all around is perfect. It has depth. Everything that you want in a playoff team, everything you want in a Super Bowl contender is Lamar's backpack. I give him props for that. A lot of good trades, one bad trade, but a lot of good trades. And I expect this team to be playing Week 17. And that means finally returning to the top of the power rankings. Took a couple weeks off. No big deal. Little Giants, #1 team in the league, best 8-4 now. I think of the teams with 8 wins, he is the best one. I mean, you saw it. He can just put up so many points. He has crazy amounts of depth in terms of receivers and running backs, and even with the JT injury, it's not going to really affect him all that much. He has such good depth. Everything like I've said about Lamar's backpack, Little Giants are like that too. They just have an extra win, especially in a tough division. That's huge. Look, this could definitely be a Week 17 matchup right here. Little Giants versus Lamar's backpack. I think the two early front runners to win the league this year, I want to say Team Armani as well. I mean, these top 3 guys are very respectable, and I could see any one of them winning. I think in a couple weeks, I'm going to do a path to success video for every playoff team, so I will be giving my 2 cents about how each team wins the playoffs, and these 3 especially will be in that video, I guarantee it. With that out of the way, let's get into the matchup previews of Week 13. Alright everybody, here we go. Matchup previews for Week 13. This is a huge week for so many teams, and there are so many bye weeks for players. Not come at a worse time for the NFL to do everybody on a bye week. There's 6 teams on byes, and it is heavily affecting teams in the league. And we're going to go through that today. And we're going to start off here with the first matchup, and that is going to be Team Doyle taking on Lamar's backpack. And Lamar's backpack, one of those teams heavily affected by those bye weeks, losing Lamar and Stephon Diggs this week, while Team Doyle is only losing Josh Jacobs. Both are losing pivotal players. Don't get me wrong, but I'd argue that Jay Gill is losing more, if that's fair to say. I don't know if this was an intentional strategy or not, but Team Doyle picked up Russ from the waivers when I'm pretty sure everybody was trying to pick up Russ, and I think he just blocked everybody. I gotta kind of respect that. I don't know if that was his play or not. I don't see why he would ever need Russ because he has Jalen Hurts. If that was the play, very well done. Trust me, it pissed me off this morning when I woke up. I was very upset. I'm still going to give the win, though, to Lamar's backpack. I just think that the firepower this team has is very hard to beat. Even if you can get a quarterback to just put up 10, 15 points, I think everyone else can kind of carry, especially with Keenan Allen and Amon-Ra, Jaden Reed, who I expect to have a good game. So Lamar's backpack, my official pick here, and we're going to move on to Chubb Checker taking on JaxiPad. Both teams pretty even in the projections, about 50-50, which is pretty surprising. No one out on bye. Everybody's pretty much good to go here for both teams. Chubb Checker getting Zach Moss off of waivers is a huge addition. That might honestly help him not get last, because these next couple weeks, he's going to be propelled in terms of scoring. Does JaxiPad have enough to overtake Chubb Checker? I mean, look, Chubb Checker has proven that he is a formidable force when it comes to taking down opponents who should easily beat him. I mean, look, you look at the 3-9 record, and he has more points projected than a lot of 5-win teams, maybe even 6-win teams. I'm still going to give the win, though, to JaxiPad. Even if Chris Olave doesn't play, I think overall there's just too many good players, especially in terms of depth. I mean, if you have to replace Chris Olave, have at it. I mean, you'll slide Mike Evans up there, you'll put in Deontay, you'll put in Kareem Hunt, whichever. Hell, you could put up A.T. Perry, who you just picked up. You could do that. And I'm not saying Chubb Checker's team's bad, but I just don't think that when it comes to firepower, it's really up there, unless JaxiPad has a terrible game, which is very possible he might. Nevertheless, JaxiPad is going to be my official winner for this game. Next up, I have Team Armani and the Guardians of Your Mom's House taking each other on. Pause. Team Armani trading for Kyler Murray earlier on in the week that we saw in the trade video just a couple days ago, and now not starting him. Starting Jordan Love against Kansas City. I mean, that's a play, right? That's an interesting play. We'll see if that works out for him. I don't know if it will. The Guardians without Devontae Adams this week because of bye, without Saquon Barkley this week because of bye. Team Armani, as strong as they can be, the team is not really looking as good as it in weeks past. I mean, Amari Cooper might not play, Noah Brown might not play, T. Higgins might not play. I mean, I literally do not know who will be the wide receivers if even one of them goes out. I don't know. It'll be very challenging for Team Armani to plug in those holes. He has anyone ruled out with injury. I think I'm going to give the win to the Guardians. All around, I think there's a better chance that they win. It's going to be an ugly game. This might be the worst game of the year for both of these managers. I mean, this is just a gross game. We'll see what happens, but I have the Guardians winning this one. And let's move on. We have the Little Giants taking on Bigger Than Black and White in what appears to be shaping up to a pretty 50-50 matchup here. Pretty close one. Last week, Little Giants escaping narrowly with a victory over JaxyPad. Looking this week to put more of a statement win on. He is, of course, without Jonathan Taylor now. Starting Jerick McKinnon, who is projected 5 points. I don't know if this is his master plan. Anyways, Bigger Than Black and White going to be rolling out his normal squad. Everyone's healthy. It's going to be his normal squad. I think it's going to be looking good here. I'm actually going to give this win to Bigger Than Black and White. I mean, look, his whole squad's going to be good. I would consider a bounce back performance this week for him. Little Giants, definitely regression candidates, along with Jerick McKinnon being thrust in the starting lineup, who, let's be honest, isn't even a second string running back. He's a third string running back. I don't know what he's doing with that. I get it, you don't have any more running backs on the roster, but that's the guy you're going to pick up at it. It's still going to be a fight because you still have Stroud, and you still have Tyreek and Nico, and Freiermuth looks good. You have Josh Downs, who, I mean, you still have a lot of good players, but I think AJ's going to win this one. Let's now go on to the upset pick of the week, and this one is going to be in the Thank You Damar and Team DD matchup, and I'm actually going to give my upset pick of the week to Team DD. Let me tell you why. His team is looking pretty good. No Kenneth Walker. However, Thank You Damar is without Zay Flowers and doesn't really appear to have anyone else to replace that. And Team DD, I mean, although not great matchups, you still have, I think, a better chance to win against Dom, because I don't think Dom seems good. I mean, so many weeks this team has underperformed, and I think Team DD is in a good position here to upset Dom. I called Team DD to upset the Little Giants earlier on in the year. I'm hoping that I can regain some of that fire here and call this upset as well. With that all being said, we have the primetime game. Aaron Rodgers Achilles taking on the GOAT squad. The Aaron Rodgers Achilles team is the most affected team by the bye weeks this week. I mean, it's abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal. And I feel bad, honestly. Look, no Josh Allen, no TJ Hawkinson, no DJ Moore, no Jordan Addison. I mean, who do you even have? Definitely going to have to go to the waivers, pick up a new quarterback. Even when that's all out of the way, I don't think you can beat the GOAT squad. Look, he's fully healthy, fully ready to go. He needs a flex player. I'd imagine that'd be Tajay Spears or Michael Wilson. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Unless the Achilles team has an absolute legacy game, which I want to preface this, I think is very unlikely due to its matchups. You know, Kupp against Cleveland, Bijan against the Jets, Lockett against Dallas. I mean, it's screaming 40-point game this week. I don't even know who he's going to play at quarterback. I don't even know who you'd want. He's probably going to put in Juwan Johnson. I didn't see him on the bench there. He's going to put in Juwan Johnson, so all you got to go do is pick out a quarterback and just pray. Pray that the GOAT squad duds. Pray that Cooper Kupp has a good game. How about that? Maybe he has a good game for once. He hasn't had one since he got traded there. Maybe Don was on to something. This is a huge game for the GOAT squad because if you win this game, you're in prime position to win next week as well. And if you win both of these games, there is a good, very good, extremely good chance that you can sneak into the playoffs. And if you're Aaron Rodgers Achilles, if you lose this game, there's a good, strong, mega strong possibility that you choke away a playoff berth. Like I said, this is not come at a worse time for the Achilles team considering the bye weeks. But good managers, good teams, they overcome these things. Is this really shitty? Yes, 100%. But if you want it, you gotta go get it. We're gonna see what manager wants it more. I'm gonna go with the GOAT squad. No surprises there. Hope you guys have been having a good day and a good week. I've been stressed. Let's go over our week 13 picks. I have the Guardians winning. I have Lamar's backpack winning. I have JaxyPad winning. Bigger Than Black and White winning. My upset pick of the week is going to be Team DD. And my prime time win of the week is going to be the GOAT squad. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everybody in week 13. This is a huge week for a lot of teams, myself included. We're 1 week away, or we're 2 weeks away, I should say. Next week's the last week for the playoffs. And that's really scary. The time's finally come. It's actually really sad. I mean, I love fantasy football, and I don't want it to end. And the end is in sight, which we haven't said that, even felt that, since last year. So it's going to suck. This has been a great year so far. I'm really excited. I have some pretty cool ideas to finish out the year in terms of the videos. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time.